Welcome back to my series, The Bible Doesn't Make Any Sense. Today's episode, Judges chapters 21 and 22. This episode is about the Israelites and their feud with the Benjamites. There's some pretty messed up stuff in these two chapters, so grab a snack and settle in. This all starts back in Judges 19. I covered Judges 19 in episode 23 of my The Bible Doesn't Make Any Sense playlist. You can check down below to see that full episode. But to sum it up, there's a Levite and he's traveling with his concubine, which a concubine is like a second wife. They needed a place to stay for the night while they were traveling, and they decide to stop in this town called Gibeah. The people living in Gibeah were Benjamites. They were from the tribe of Benjamin. Find this old man and they end up staying with him that night. And while they're staying with him, some of the men from the town come to the house. And they're banging on the door telling the old man, hey, that guy that you brought into your house, we need you to bring him out here because we want to rape him. But instead of raping the Levite man throws his concubine out there and they end up raping her and they beat her to death. So at the beginning of chapter 20, all of the Israelites gather together in Mizpah and they're talking to the Levite and they're like, tell us what happened when you were in Gibeah. So the Levite tells them what happened and they decide we're going to gather all the tribes from all of Israel and we're going to Gibeah to kill the dudes that did this. And keep in mind that the Benjamites are Israelites because when the Levite is looking for a place to stay, he says we need to go somewhere where the Israelites are, so we're going to go to Gibeah. So the other Israelites basically send a message to the Benjamites being like, hey, we know what you did. We need you to turn over the men that did this so that they can face their punishment, which is death. But the Benjamites weren't really down for that, and so they decide instead that they're just going to fight the other Israelites. Now there were over 26,000 fighting men on the Benjamite side, but all the other tribes of Israel, there was like 400,000 of them, so the Benjamites were outnumbered by a lot. They go into battle, and surprisingly, the Benjamites are the ones that win. They take out 22,000 Israelites. The Israelites are crying to God like, yo, are we gonna go and battle them again tomorrow? And God's like, yep, go up against them again tomorrow. So they go to battle again that next day, and again, the Benjamites wipe the floor with the Israelites. They kill like 18,000 of them. And they cry to God again that night like, bro, we're still doing this. We're still gonna fight them on this third day. And God's like, yep, you're gonna do it again, but this time you're gonna win. I'm gonna deliver them into your hands and you're gonna win. I don't know what bro was doing the first 2 days. I guess he was just watching the Israelites die. So on the third day, God helps the Israelites and they end up defeating 25,000 Benjamites. Now remember how I said that the Benjamites only had like 26,000 fighting men? Yeah, 25,000 of them were wiped out. So they were almost extinct at this point. According to the Bible, there was only 600 of them left and they fled and lived in this cave for like 4 months. Then the Israelites went back to Benjamin and killed everyone left there, including the animals, and they set the towns on fire. So the Benjamite women, the Benjamite children, their land, their livestock, all of that is gone now. So their tribe as a whole is really close to being extinct. And at the beginning of Judges 21, the men of Israel take an oath in Mizpah saying that none of them will give their daughters in marriage to a Benjamite. But the Israelites low-key start realizing that they might have taken it too far, and now they're trying to figure out how they're going to make sure that the Benjamite tribe doesn't go completely extinct. How can we provide wives for those who are left, since we have taken an oath by the Lord not to give any of our daughters in marriage? Then they asked, which one of the tribes of Israel failed to assembly before the Lord in Mizpah? They discovered that no one from the Jabesh Gilead had come to the camp for the assembly. To put it plainly, the Israelites had another oath that when they assemble before the Lord, like they did when they were getting ready to go and fight the Benjamites, all the tribes have to assemble. And they realized that the people from the Jabesh Gilead tribe did not assemble with them. So the Israelites decide to send soldiers over to Jabesh Gilead and kill all of the men there, all of their wives, and all of their children, and to only leave the virgin women, because those virgin women are going to be wives for the Benjamites. But they only found 400 virgins, and remember, there were 600 Benjamites that survived the battle, so they needed 200 more. So now they're trying to figure out how they're going to find 200 virgins for the rest of these Benjamites, and they decide to find a loophole around the oath they took that they can't give any women to the Benjamite men. There was a festival that was coming up in Shiloh, and so the Israelites tell the Benjamites, go to the festival, and when you see the young women free and dancing and all of that, grab them and kidnap them. Take them with you. Those are your wives now. Their reasoning was basically, we're not giving you the wives, you're taking the wives, and so technically that doesn't break the oath. That's what the Benjamites did. They went to the festival in Shiloh, kidnapped the women there, the virgins, and took them as their wives. In other words, they kidnapped them, married them, raped them, and made them bear their children. And that's basically how chapter 21 ends. The number one question that's swirling around in my head is if God can help the other Israelites beat the Benjamites in the third day of battle, he can't help them find wives? I mean, hell, he made Adam out of dirt. He can't create wives for the Benjamites? Or better yet, God couldn't just strike dead the ones that raped the concubine back in Judges 19? He's all powerful. He very well could just strike all the ones dead that raped that woman. He's done it to men who have done far less. I keep thinking about Onan in Genesis 38. He got struck dead by God because he spilled his seed on the ground instead of spilling it inside of a woman. Yes, God killed a man because he pulled out. He can't strike down some men for literally raping and murdering someone. Don't give me that God can't intervene bullshit, because he very well intervened with the third day of the battle because the Israelites were getting their asses handed to them until God was like, all right, I'm going to deliver them into your hands. That's intervening. So he can intervene in the battle, but he can't help them out in any other situation otherwise. He had to resort to kidnapping two different groups of women, the women from Shiloh and the women from Jabesh Gilead. Y'all see what I mean when I say the Bible sees women as literal property? Yeah, just go take those women from that town, from everything they've ever known, their families and all of that, take them and rape them and make them your wives and they'll bear your children. Yeah, but the Bible loves women, right?